Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Apologies for the absolute state of my face, but I went for a facial yesterday, a deep cleansing facial, which was so needed, and she spent a long time extracting like all of the congestion in my face, so it's a little bit red, and I didn't want to put any makeup on because I just wanted to kind of heal. And I just cleansed my face this morning, popped some moisturizer on, and I'm just going to leave it completely makeup free. I don't tend to wear makeup anyway, so yeah, it's looking a bit red, but it'll soon die down. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a full day of eating. This morning, I had my normal eggs, cream of rice and mixed berries, but you would have seen that my egg yolk is now gone. And when that egg yolk goes, I know things are getting serious, because when you start to reduce the fats in my food, that's when the weight just kind of drops off. So this morning's breakfast just consisted of 4 egg whites, a handful of spinach, 40 grams of cream of rice, and 100 grams of mixed berries. I am obviously sat on the sofa with my slanket on. I've just put a Facebook post up on my fitness client page. I've been messaging clients, responding to emails, my normal routine. I'm going to have my pre-workout meal in about an hour before I head to the gym, so I'll show you what that is. And as I go through today, I'll talk you through how I make some of my meals, why my meals are kind of structured in that way, the changes that have been made this week. But I've also got a lot of questions to answer because I put a poll up on my Instagram story asking for some quick fire questions, and some of the questions that have come through are really good, so I will definitely sit you down a little bit later and go through those as well. Just about to prep my pre-workout meal, but I've also cooked up my rice for the day. So one change that was made this week is that my 2 meals that normally have 45 grams of dry weight rice have now gone down to 40. So that's 80 grams in total, but when cooked up, it now equates to 255. And you can see I've literally taken every single grain of rice out and weighed it. So I will split that over 2 meals, my chicken meal and my salmon meal. And the reason we're using dry weight rice is so that we can be 100% accurate with the calories, macros, the carbs, because depending on how your rice cooks, how much water you use, the weight as a cooked weight will vary. So like yesterday, this weighed 240 and I used the exact same cooking time, the exact same amount of water, but it just changed it slightly. So now it's 255. But at least I know as a dry weight, I'm having the exact same amount, particularly when we're dropping by like 5 grams in a meal. Those small things really matter. And now I've got my pre-workout meal, 40 grams of cream of rice. This is the milk chocolate one from CSN. I prepped it this morning with water in the microwave, cooked it with some baking powder, a little bit of pink salt, and then I popped it in the fridge. And then now I've added 2 squares of dark chocolate, popped it back into the microwave, and as you can see, it's melted like that. So I've got carbs, I've got fats, and then for my protein, I've got 20 grams of whey isolate, and the one I've gone for today is the peanut butter flavor. I've also prepped my intra-workout, which is a full bottle, 1.5 litres, and I've added 200 mils of coconut water and 10 grams of the supplement needs EAAs. We are training our first pull session this week, so I most definitely will be having one of these energy drinks. This is the 3D one, the Liberty Pop, which kind of just tastes like mixed fruit, and I much prefer having an energy drink over an actual pre-workout that's going to give me like a massive come down or make me feel super tingly before a workout, because it kind of distracts me. But I did have a Monster Zero yesterday, and during my workout it just really upset my stomach. I kind of felt a bit bloated and that, so I don't know if I'm just getting too sensitive now to these things, but I'm going to give this one a go and we'll see how we get on. I'll pick you guys back up when we are home from the gym and I get my post-workout meal. Back from the gym, ready to eat my post-workout meal, which is 60 grams of cream of rice, and this one is the maple syrup flavor with 100 grams of pineapple, 20 grams of whey, the same as before. And I tend to eat my cream of rice slightly different for different meals. So with my breakfast, I like it cold because the berries go in whilst it's hot and it melts. For my pre-workout, I like it hot with the dark chocolate melted inside, but then this one, I really like it cold. So I'm gonna eat this up now, but honest to God, that session was absolutely brutal. Probably the hardest one I've had on prep. I was able to increase on reps and weights and everything, but my body just feels battered. I actually came out of a working set and then burst into tears, and I haven't done that on prep yet. So I need to just eat this. I need to go and shower. I've got about an hour before all of my calls start. It's Tuesday, so I've got calls back to back from 2 p.m. until at 7:30. So it's going to be a mega day, but at least my cardio, my training, everything is done. All I have to do is just make sure that I get my meals in between. So I'll pick you guys back up when I get my next meal and talk to you about meal timings and that kind of thing. One call done. It's just coming up to 3. Before I go on my next call, I've just prepared all my veg. You guys have seen me do that in another vlog. I've got my chicken ready. I'm going to split my rice in half, get it all ready to go. I might even put the air fryer on when I'm just about to jump on this next call, so that when my call is done about 3:30, I can eat my next meal. So I've just finished that call that started at 3 o'clock. It's just gone 3:30, coming up to 20 to 4. I'm so glad that I prepped my meal beforehand, because I tend to eat my meals at the same times every single day. So I have my breakfast normally about 7:30. I have my pre-workout meal about 9:30, 9:45, because we normally leave about 10:15. When we get home from the gym, it's normally just coming up to 1. So I then have my post-workout meal. And by that point, I'm normally ravenous for it anyway. And then my next meal is kind of 3, 3:30. Meal after that will be 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock. It's normally around kind of like the time that the sun is setting, the animals are at me. They know exactly when my next meal is, and that's my salmon meal. And then my final meal, my mug cake, is normally about 8:30. I tend to be having it a little bit earlier now because I'm trying to get myself off to bed a little bit earlier. But meal timings for me are just absolutely paramount to my progress. And I've spoken about this before in another video about how those things are really important, and those variables can make a difference. So I'm very strict with my meal timings, and because of that, my body is used to eating at those times, and it allows my digestion to be on point and for me to really utilize those foods at those times. So I'm gonna go and get my next meal because I'm hungry. And there you have it. 100 grams of chicken, my normal green veggies, and as I mentioned before, the rice in each of these meals is now down to 40 grams of raw weight rice. And it might sound a little bit crazy, just 5 grams down, but it will make a difference this week. Not only that, I've also had a 5-minute increase of my cardio. So 10 grams down in rice over 2 meals, 5 minutes increase of cardio, and 1 egg yolk gone. Those are the only changes that have been made this week. Let's see if I get that weight drop. Another awesome coaching call done. It is just gone 20 to 5. I've got 20 minutes before my next call, so I thought I would answer some of these quick fire questions. I have quite a few here, so I'm going to see how many I can do in 20 minutes. Does cream of rice taste like real rice? No, it really doesn't. If you've ever had baby rice before, it just tastes like that. But cream of rice, depending on where you get it from, can have flavoring to it. So obviously I use CSN cream of rice. It comes in a multitude of flavors, absolutely delicious, really easy to cook, great on your digestion. It's a win from me. Can it ever be difficult to have your husband as your coach? Yes, it can, but I think we've kind of mastered it over the years, because with our relationship, and we've talked about this in a previous vlog, we just kind of separate the kind of coach and husband side of things. So when he sends me anything to do with like an update on my food, my training, I just be like, okay, and I just tick the boxes. And it's something that he never has to worry about with me. He knows I'll follow what he tells me to do. But with regards to him being my husband, it's important that we still have that balance and that we separate kind of the coach and client relationship. So for me, it's really important that when it's the end of the day, work is done, that we still have that couple time together. This is a good one. I get asked this a lot. Do you always have a meal plan, or do you ever follow if it fits your macros in your off season? Great question. I do always follow a meal plan, both in my improvement season and in my prep season. But when I'm in an improvement season, there is a degree of flexibility. And I think that this is important for me and sometimes for other clients too. The level of flexibility will depend on what my goal is moving forward. If I'm looking to really grow a particular area and I really want to have a structured off season, then I will follow a meal plan 100% and will only have a free meal if instructed by my coach, the same as I would on prep. If I am looking to kind of stay in maintenance, which I have done in previous years, where I haven't wanted to grow as much, or there's been other stuff going on in my life, but I still want to be structured, then I would follow a meal plan that allows for a degree of flexibility where I've got like 500 calories, 600 calories left over each day to have an extra treat or something else that's just not on my plan. Advice for someone thinking of competing. Where do I start? I think my biggest piece of advice would be to invest in the sport wholeheartedly. So if you are thinking about competing, don't go into competing because you think it looks glamorous or because you think that's a great way to get lean. Understand that competing is part of bodybuilding, the sport. So if you're not invested in it wholeheartedly and it's not your lifestyle, don't even consider it. Your best advice on coping with the period between shows. This is a tough one because I've done it so many times, and I think it comes down to your why and your goal. I think post-show, you get better at dealing with post-show the more seasons you do, but for those that are planning on competing several times in one season, it's important to understand what your end goal is and really work towards that. So coming out of a show, straight away saying, right, what's the next show that I'm working towards? Discussing that really carefully with your coach, understanding, you know, what you're going to do in terms of having a free meal or, you know, running macros for a week or whatever. People do it differently. For me, coming out of the Portugal show, the hunger and the fire for my pro card was still very real. So it was literally right, where are we going next? What's the next show? And so for me, coping with coming out of that first show, I didn't really struggle with food or anything like that because I was like, okay, let's go. Like I felt like my prep hadn't finished. So I had 7 weeks and I knew that in those 7 weeks I could bring condition because I had a very specific goal. I knew that I was good on stage in my first show, but I knew that I needed condition. And for me, it was easy to look at that time frame and go, right, well, we can bring condition. So if you are coming out of a show and you're going into another one, but there's like an area to develop, like if they want you to have fuller glutes or bigger legs or rounded delts, that's going to be a little bit harder because it's going to be very difficult to try and develop that in a short space of time between shows. But I think coping between shows is down to your mindset, your goal, and your relationship with your coach. Next up, do you still have regular periods during prep? If not, does it come back after prep? My period always stops during prep, and I'm very much used to it. Taking your body to this level of leanness is going to put your body into a state where it just wants to survive. So having a period isn't seen as a necessity for your body. However, this can vary for females across different categories. I know lots of girls that will continue to have their period right up until their show. And I know lots of girls that will lose it immediately, or it will happen when they get to a level of leanness. And I've experienced both as well. The stress behind a prep can kind of lead me to literally losing my period instantly, or sometimes it might take a little bit longer. However, it doesn't faze me or worry me because it always comes back. And again, this comes down to you being really smart with your prep, what you do post-show in terms of increasing your food, your fats, reducing your cortisol levels. I'm very much a firm believer in having a complete week off training once I'm done with my season. I don't go in and train. I focus on just getting my steps in, doing some cardio in the morning, and making sure that I'm building my calories back up, especially my fats, so that my hormones get back in check. The other thing that I would always recommend doing for clients and for myself is having your blood work done before you even start a prep. And then when you finish your prep and you're going into your improvement season and you're looking to improve your overall health again. But it's just part of the process, and I think there's a lot of kind of negativity around this and that it's really dangerous, but it's not if you manage it well, and it's just something that you're going to have to accept if you are serious about this sport. How many shows are you going to compete in? As many shows as it takes until I turn pro. That's the goal this year. But we will see. After Portugal, let's see how I feel. and let's see what we do. But I kind of really had this discussion with Darren, and I said, what if I don't turn pro at this one? And he was like, well, we go for another show very soon afterwards. Oh, a business question. Best tips to start a business? You're looking amazing. Thank you so much. My best tips when starting a business is have a real clear vision. Understand what it is you want to create. Be authentic in your approach. Create some clear systems and routines. Understand how to build content. Understand how to communicate with your audience. Those are the 4 things that I teach all of my business clients. Clarity of vision, content creation, communication with your audience, consistent systems and routines. And simply be relentless. Building your business is hard. It takes a lot of work. And when people say that when you run your own business, you work 24/7, you do. Look at me right now. I literally am between calls, trying to record something for YouTube, editing it at the same time between calls, gonna get it uploaded hopefully tomorrow. Like, it's never ending. Last final question. Love you both, and your YouTube videos are absolute fire. Thank you. Do you plan on having babies? That question baffles me a little bit, and I don't know why, because it's one of those things. It's like when you're a female and you're of a certain age, people think that it's okay and acceptable to ask you what you're doing with your womb. Now, I don't want this person who's asked this question to take offense at all. I'm more than happy to answer it, but I feel like because I'm 35 and I haven't had children yet and I'm married, I should be, or I should be planning to. I've got no plans at present to be having any children. Do Darren and I want to have kids? Yeah, I think we probably do at some point. Like, he's my husband, I absolutely adore him. And, you know, the idea of us creating a human being together that's part me and part him is like the ultimate sign of love. And I can't even imagine what that will be like when it happens. But in terms of planning children, no plans at present. We've got so much else that's going on at the moment. So yeah, I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen, but I'm sure when it does, you guys will find out. Okay, I need to get back onto my coaching calls. As I mentioned, it's just come up to 5 p.m. I've got a call at 5. I'm going to have my next meal hopefully about 5:30, 5:45. Then I've got another call at 6, another call at 7, and then I've got my massage later. Hello. Yeah, I know. It's 5:30, mummy. It's my dinner time. Okay, all right. Gosh, if it wasn't me saying I'm hungry for my next meal, it was definitely you. Right, let's go get this next meal. And here it is again. You've seen this meal probably a million times on my channel, but consistency is key. And you guys know I love my salmon. This is 100 grams of salmon from Protein House, and it's absolutely delicious. My green veggies, and then the other half of that rice. It's just gone 5:45. I've got another onboarding call at 6 p.m. Then I've got another business coaching client call at 7 p.m. and then I've got Paula coming at 7:30. So when it comes to a full day of eating, it's literally go, 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 and everything is timed to the exact hour and needs to be. So when people ask me whether I get hungry on prep or if I think about other food, I literally do not have time. I barely have time to get these meals in. On that note, I am absolutely going to inhale this meal, and I'll pick you guys back up for my final meal after therapy with Paula, which is my mug cake, and I'm going to share with you the full recipe. Time to prepare my last meal, and these are the options for my mug cake. Mint chocolate flavour, which is definitely going to be like Aero. Double chocolate, which I've had, is amazing. Salted caramel, or white chocolate. And I'm telling you, to make this mug cake, you've got to use Perform Whey. It just blends so well and tastes amazing. And then the secret ingredient is a scoop of Daily Greens from Revive, chocolate flavour obviously, and a little bit of baking powder. I think I'm going to try the mint chocolate flavour. I'm quite excited about this. 1 scoop of whey, which is about 30 grams, 1 scoop of the daily greens powder, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and when you mix it with a little bit of water, it goes like this into like a cake batter. Then all you've got to do is pop it in the microwave for a minute. It goes this texture. Can you see where the bubbles have come up? But you want to leave it so it's a little bit gooey in the middle. And then I top it with 20 grams of almond butter and a drizzle of low-calorie chocolate sauce. It doesn't look like much, but honestly, look at that texture. It's like a sponge pudding, and the smell on this, mint chocolate, oh my goodness. Okay, seeing as I've never tried this flavour before, I feel like I should do a live taste test. Oh my god, that literally tastes like mint Aero, or bubbly mint Aero mug cake. It's bloody awesome, and less than 250 calories. That is so good. Okay folks, so I am going to close off this video here. It is most definitely coming up to my bedtime. I'm going to eat my mug cake. I'm going to make myself a nice cup of tea, head off to bed. But that is where I am currently at, just sitting under 4 weeks out. My calories have been reduced by about 200. I've got about 50 grams less of carbs. Obviously my egg yolk has gone, so my fats are down a little bit, and the 5 minutes of extra lists. So I'm probably now in more like 250 to 300 calorie deficit across each training day, which will equate to obviously an accumulation of calorie deficit across the whole week. So if you enjoyed this full day of eating, please give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed me answering those questions, let me know down below and I can do another Q&A soon. But for now, I'm going to close this video off here. I will speak to you guys in the next one. See you soon.